Welcome to South Sudan today. My name is Myong Pon. You are watching us live in the United States. Our program has changed and we briefly explained that to you last week. But again, it's going to start now on at 7 p.m. Central Time, 8 p.m. Eastern Time. In Australia, it will start at 10 a.m. in the morning, which is now in Melbourne, and it will be about 8 a.m. in the morning in Perth, Australia. I want to welcome all of you, those who have been with us from day one, those who have just showed up, and those who have just found out about this program. This is a South Sudan Today show. Is a show that explains the insight of what is happening in our country and specifically here in diaspora for South Sudanese who live outside Sudan and of course outside South Sudan. So this particular segment of the show will be dedicated to SPLM's IO and it's known as Inside SPLM IO Tonight. But the regular show that will include Dr. Thaj and the rest of the other shows will start tonight at 9 in the morning. Actually at 9 p.m., but will be in the morning in South Sudan and also in other part of Africa. So for now, I'm going to have you listen to some of the music that are from our country because we will be coming back, myself and comrade or Mr. Chankot, actually Simon Tood, which is known as Chankot Kanyatungong, will be able to show up and sign in tonight. It will be morning in their time. Again, I want to welcome all of you. Welcome to the show. And if you have any questions, please do not hesitate to tell us how we can go or do this program any better than this. Other than that, I want to say enjoy the music that I'm going to give to you, and some news will come later on before we start our show. Again, this is Myong Kwon live at SST here in the United States.
Love
I would like to pause it for a second. It's not really a music show, but there's a reason why I play music and I choose some of the music. This music is very, very important. The language that Emmanuel Kembe is showing with my little Arabic that I have and that I have listened to and I have came to know what the music's about. It's about peace, about unity, about us coming together. You can tell how we call them out by the names from different tribes in South Sudan. This music is very important. It's a music that will bring our people together. People that are living together or do things together do not mean that they have not hurt themselves. No, it happens. But the only way to get ahead and get a better country is for people to love themselves. This country, if you're in the United States, have gone through a whole lot. Bad things happen. Not that it can happen in another country, but the only way to get out of them is for people to come together so that what happened will be able to solve, will be able to sponge out together. So that's what I want. Whom I have one of the thing that is so funny is how they share that I think it's a local alcohol. You probably might know better than others. It's a local alcohol. They are sharing it. Again, this is exactly show the culture in South Sudan that people eat together. People who are family, not only that they eat together, but also they do everything that they do together and they work together. Yes, someone will say, oh, that's not healthy. That's very true. In a country where you might not need to share that, you have enough to plate and all that, you don't need to share it. But it's very significant that this is how our life in our country is supposed to be from day one. So these people, not only that they're sharing that, they don't come from the same place. And this is what this music is trying to expand to the people, trying to show that we South Sudanese, long before we even had a government, we were together. We had our own problems, we solved them together. That was a long time ago. There was no government. There was no body that actually speak any other language. They speak their own dialects and it was fine. Why they can't do it now? Why we can't do it now? We should. So anyway, that's what I want to expand a little bit on. Welcome to South Sudan today. My name is Myong Kwon. You are watching us live in the United States. Someone said as well, asked me, why are you not speaking good Arabic, Ambassador? Well, let alone speaking good Arabic, I don't even speak the language. Well, I can try it, Arabic Juba, not even Arabic Juba, probably maybe Arabic Konya Konya. My Arabic doesn't end up to Juba. Juba is very high for me. But the reason I don't speak the Arabic is very, very simple. If I can speak English, then I can speak Arabic as well. But the question is, we are, and many of us were the times that we were born by the time that South Sudan had nothing. Well, South Sudan had no education now, but by that time you have to go to Khartoum or somewhere higher than the village where we lived in. So I was not taken to school at a younger age, and if I had to go to school, then I had to be taken to either a bigger town where Nasser or somewhere in Wulang or something like that. But even there too, the Arabic was ended. I think it's around 1980, 81, 82, or 83 or something like that. So we did not have a chance to learn Arabic. So we are the children of SPLM. And the children of SPLM end up learning other languages. We grew up in Ethiopia, mostly in Western Ethiopia. For someone who might have been there, you will know what I'm talking about. And in Ethiopia, you can only speak Arabic in Inita. And that SPLM Arabic, we found out that it was actually not really the best one. It's not the classic one. It's not the professional one. But at least it's what SPLM's fighters, the heroes, was using from different tribes to be able to understand each other's, because we never had one language. So that's one of the reasons why I don't speak Arabic instead of speaking a good one. I went to Juba, was there for 10 years, but this was just recently 2006, until the crisis happened in South Sudan. Again, I want to welcome all of you. Philip Gailunj, welcome. Oh, wow, long time, Mr. Philip. I haven't heard from you in a very, very long time. How are you doing? I wish to hear from you. This show is for all of you. And this is Inside SPLM IO tonight. The people I'm looking for are the ones, not those who actually, the members, not those who support the SPLM. They understand that. I really, really want to talk to the people who really think that they cannot be part of the SPLM. Because what you don't like is what you don't know. This is the platform where you can learn about what is the SPLM about. We are very open. The only thing that we do not need from you is a profane language, insulting people. That's not what we will be doing here. We want to listen to you, give us your constructive disagreement to us, and we will do it. We will discuss it from there, and we'll explain to you why SPLM is the best, or will be the party of South Sudan very, very soon. Yes, there are people that are watching and saying, oh God, Myong is not really serious. Of course, yes, I am very, very serious. Do not be taken away by what's happening now. No, it is definitely, the truth always come last. And if you ask me what is the truth is that South Sudan need to be a democratic country. South Sudan need everybody to have a voice. If you don't like Myong, you have all the right to say it, Myong. What I don't like from you is this and this and that. As long as you don't insult me. Again, for politicians, they are public figure. An average person, someone who's not part of the SPLMs or part of the IG, someone who's not part of anything, is just a plain citizen of South Sudan, have a right to say that this politician, that politician is not doing this, because they will not hear him. The only way to hear that particular person is to come out in public and say what they don't like. Otherwise, nobody will know that. And that is what the SPLM about. Okay? Yes, you don't come and start, saying bad words to people, attacking families, saying lies of what happened. No, what we are telling you here is, if you talk to us, if you come to SPLM and talk about how the SPLM-IO is not doing that, then it is your right to attack what we do as the SPLM members. It's your right to attack our vision if it's not right for you or for anyone else. But do not attack personalities. When I say personality, is that me, myself, I represent the SPLM. I am the SPLM because of the mission of the SPLM-IO. And SPLM-IO is within South Sudan. So if there's something that I do because I'm an SPLM member, it's not because not because of where I come from, not because of my community, not because of my family. Yes, of course, that's where I come from. But separate me or separate that individuals from the party that he or she supports. And that's where we have problems sometimes. For those who have been SPLM supporters or whatever supporter they support, what you support is the visions, is the system in which you think, you feel yourself, not the leader. You feel that this system is what will take us somewhere. Even if someone else thinks that that one is the wrong one, that is one. But what if come the time you think that, okay, the leader of this party is really, really doing it wrong. The leader of this party is not doing it right. Well, if the visions of the party that you love is right, and the leaders of the visions is doing it wrong, and then it's not the party that has the problem. It's the leader that has the problem. And then you as a member, not just the supporters, okay? Because someone can support the party for a day, then can go away when the issues change. But you as a member, it is your job to make sure that your party, because your leader of that party is also a member, just like you. The only difference you are with him or her is that he has been put in charge. Because tomorrow you will also be in charge if you do your homework very well. So this is what I'm trying to explain to any persons that may think that, hey, this SPLM, this SPLM, this is wrong. And if you think SPLM is wrong, especially I'm talking about SPLM-IO, if you think SPLM-IO is wrong, don't think that SPLM-IO because of the people that you know out there. Try to understand what the SPLM about. Because someone you really respect might support a party that's really going to nowhere. Someone you really respect very much might support a party that is going nowhere. And that is why we encourage people. If you want to support anything, especially in politics, you need to understand what actually for you there. Okay, that's something we call political paradigms. You know, these paradigms has been drawn, or it's just a picture where from left to right, and when they say from left to right, anybody that is from the left is someone that they call it very liberal, someone that will be okay with anything that happens, that is new thing, they will always support that, if I can roughly explain that. But if we go to the right, then it's someone that is very radical, someone that thinks that no change, nothing going to happen. But this is all about issues. You know, this is all about how things can go forward. So these are simple things that they cannot divide people. But anyway, as I wait for anybody to come, my comrade Simon Tood, definitely I'm waiting for him to join me. But now I don't want to be a talking head. I want to give you some music, and if you have any questions or you want to add anything, or you want to join me live as well, I have put the links on the chat room there in the back room. If you have a question, also let me know. I will send it to you directly. But other than that, this is SPLM, Inside SPLM tonight.
دولار يا جماعة، ليه ترفعوا دولار في البنك؟ لا لا لا، حتى الجد المحلي المانجا واللبن كله بقى غالي. قال عشان دولار دي نياي. كلام دولار يا دولار ارجع بلدك. كلام دولار كلام دولار بقى مشكلة جنوبين. ما عنده قروش باكل وين، ما عنده شغل باكل وين. لو جات كله بقى دولار انا زعلان. كلام دولار لو جات كله بقى دولار انا زعلان. كلام دولار أفهم جو يا تجار كل شيء made in Juba. ليه تقول بدولار؟ دولار ده ما قروشنا. I'm proud of South Sudan pounds pounds وانا زعلان. كلام دولار باكل وين، ما عنده شغل باكل وين. لو جات كله بقى دولار انا زعلان. كلام دولار لو جات كله بقى دولار انا زعلان. كلام دولار دولار يا جماعة معيشة صعبة. حتى السمك الفجوبة هنا برضو غالي عشان دولار. لا لا لا، تاجر موية تلقى واد، تاجر فام تلقى واد، تاجر رملة تلقى واد، تاجر سمك. جنوب السودان فوق السمك. ليه تقول عشان دولار؟ دولار ده ما قروشنا. I'm proud of South Sudan pounds pounds وانا زعلان. كلام دولار كلام دولار يا دولار ارجع بلدك. كلام دولار كلام دولار بقى مشكلة جنوبين. ما عنده قروش بمشي وين، ما عنده شغل بمشي وين. لو جات كله بقى دولار انا زعلان. كلام دولار لو جات كله بقى دولار انا زعلان. كلام دولار نشكر حكومة جنوب للخدمات الطيبة. كتبت جواب تمشي وزارة بدو قروش. العيان والمدرسة بعد شوية تمشي بلاك ماركت. ليه خربتوا قروشنا وانا زعلان. كلام دولار دولار كلام دولار يا دولار ارجع بلدك. كلام دولار كلام دولار بقى مشكلة جنوبين. ما عنده قروش باكل وين، ما عنده شغل باكل وين. لو جات كله بقى دولار انا زعلان. كلام دولار لو جات كله بقى دولار انا زعلان. كلام دولار أفهم جو يا تجار كل شيء made in Juba. ليه تقول عشان دولار؟ دولار ده ما قروشنا. I'm proud of South Sudan pounds وانا زعلان. كلام دولار دولار. gwa anchanen Jekka warnya dung be kamode gangje Kamya bayobi Uloi du badundan kere
Kodama hiloi de jame kiti Loi de kana me kamran Jape ne dial goren nam gangje Bakam jiko obiyo Yin mun loi du bayobi
Nyal chingrom Ura chugoinan Rit kudial chiga chuloida Tayanen bakam Jishir dial jin karadu Jin karadu Nyal jin karwa Hey bang moben king majal kane queen Baratol kadwini den kayet ken Lok baja kajiba ben kajika chokken Urangasa Point me gua, right me gua Take a G Hit to go, chunk to go Kenachi Like do and buy your tea Nyal buy your tea Baby Like me gua and Shannon Jekka warnya dung be kamode gangje Kamya bayobi Uloi du badundan kere
Kodama hiloi de jame kiti Loi de kana me kamran Jape ne dial goren nam gangje Bakam jiko obiyo Yin mun loi du bayobi Namnya kon jal ne ke
Yes, welcome to South Sudan today. My name is Myong Kwant. You are watching us live in the United States. Our program is on, and I understand that we have changed the time. The SPLM inside SPLM tonight is on at 7 p.m. and then at 9 we'll be on with the leadership program with Dr. Fudge and the rest of our folks. We will be discussing specifically now about the SPLM IO in South Sudan and South Sudan as well. Then after that, it will be for the up to 9 p.m. tonight. It will be for programs that will be including Dr. Fudge, who will be coming in, and we'll be discussing the leadership again, like the part 2. We have discussed part 1 last time. I told you earlier that we will have some news later towards the end of the program, because we will give you some of the news that are happening and that are matters to you. Okay, go ahead and watch the show as we wait for Simon to come in.
Jekka warnya dung be kamode gangje Kamya bayobi Uloi du badundan kere
Kodama hiloi de jame kiti Loi de kana me kamran Jape ne dial goren nam gangje Bakam jiko obiyo Yin mun loi du bayobi
Chilot gwa de jek
Chinok gwa de jek
Mengore men Nashi kamsala kwanjal ke yuda Chabwa shigina dunga Changnan kon bila shara Nyalna bila tiamo Ornyama Chiloi de jame gaji Loi de kana me kamran Jape ne dial goren ram nalge Bakam jiko biyo Yin mun loi du bayobi Orama Chiloi de jame gaji
Yeah, 17, TGA, the good guy, another one. Do you know that I love you? Do you know that I need you? Do you know that I love you? Do you know that I need you? Do you know, baby, let's get down. This is the song for the dancing door. Do you know that I love you? Do you know that I need you? Do you know that I love you? Do you know that I need you? Do you know, baby, let's get down. This is the song for the dancing. No, Dino, 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 Dino.
Baby no gan na kel chikamin kuda kel changang na warek be con rubber kel no chima baladak and but you protect me but you attack don't give you other day. You know that I love you, you know that I want you, you know that I need you, you know that I miss you, you know that I go do you.
Do you know that I love you? Do you know that I need you? Do you know that I love you? Do you know that I need you? Do you know, baby, let's get down. This is the song for the dancing. No, do you know that I love you? Do you know that I need you? Do you know that I love you? Do you know that I need you? Do you know, baby, let's get down. This is the song for the dancing. No, do you know? 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 Do you know my love for you? I'm gonna show you my love is real. Package along my baby girl, sexy lady, my beautiful girl. I promise myself to be with you. We're gonna shang be girl. Let me hold you, you feel my heart. You the one that I give my heart. Every time I'm missing you, every day I need your love. No dan guraka kondang row, girl. Do you know that I love you? Do you know? Do you know that I need you? Do you know? Do you know that I love you? Do you know? Do you know that I need you? Do you know? Baby, let's get down. This is the song for the dance.
Puri mangar, jor puri mangar, jor puri mangar.
Sockman Production.
Nhan như là chỉ bên luôn về tê bên rogang real real dung về chèleng ron quan mà ron đi ra jam de cái bên tây ayana kola bengar ayana kola bengar ayana kola chirwen la ron quan ra le ba jam de cái bên tây Ayana kola bengar, bengar, bengar. Ayana kola bengar, ayana kola chirbain. Kene denga chalu, nyibola ini dut, nyane galbai, nyibola ini dulodi. Kenyan pain kuilare kuliah korom, dirla luj bai nyibola ini dut, nyane galbai, nyibola ini dulodi. Kenyan pain kuilare kuliah korom, nyibol kegadul madura tianare al kacai de matwang pa kunyale majang dire kwendayim. Goja kwen kulay taglek panayan nakol pandit bany bani wakwan narol namugan ber pamugan ber namugan ber pani wakwan narol namugan ber pamugan ber namugan ber pandidayan nakol namugan ber pamugan ber namugan ber biang roma gang reale namugan ber pamugan ber pani wadi roma gegediran lor payina tongma jera mugan ber pani wadi roma gegediran lor payina tongma payina tawul nyir kwai ma dia tangane wul nyir kwai bejog den ker gol dang weng kamai un kon mai rol awan ku.
Oh yeah, girl, you know I love you. Did you? When I'm not gonna go in there, tire laire. When I'm not gonna go let me kill you, and no one take care. Be there, man, be there. Be there, say guana. Be there, man, tienga. Be there, neme. Forever and ever. Oh yeah, yeah, oh yeah. Gura me tora enchi no kaloide. Gura tela me dong me gore. And gore ni dikaratu. To tell me dong me dewe. Hey you're my baby. Anchana guru di makeni de koken. Banini got to lose coat and tongue on day. Dunde gonna tire like that. Gonna tire is the dad. Dunde me nunga. Dunga nunga. Yeah. Gonna naga diga loine. Tire like that. Gonna naga diga like you. And over take care. Give me the money. Bettina mantiega, bettina na me, guru banike forever and ever. Oh yeah.
Farming is one of the oldest professions in South Sudan. For centuries, the people of South Sudan have always relied on traditional farming. However, the 20-plus years of civil war has left the country in ruins. As an independent nation blessed with vast natural resource base and a huge agricultural potentials, with more than 90% of the land being suitable for farming, the rainy season has arrived and the time couldn't be any better. For years, the government has always encouraged people to step up farming, but this year, other factors forced the government to take the farming serious. Having shut down the oil that produced 98% of the country's revenue 6 months ago, the health.
What you were watching here is an old video that I did a long time ago. I want to bring some memories to how South Sudan were made possible long before it became independent. These were Dr. Machar, the times that we were working towards the independence of the country, and that is our country. We traveled to Unity State, we traveled to Warab, that is Bahr Ghazal, and also we traveled to Apanal as well. And you can see how our country is so beautiful and so fertile, speaking of the land. So I wanted to give you that while we are waiting for Simon to come in, so that you can see the glimpse of a country that were later torn apart for unnecessary war that happened. But again, these show where we came from, because we start from nowhere and we should be working toward getting somewhere. Unfortunately, we were struck by a war that none of us did plan. And this is why we end up having something called SPLM IO today. It was on one SPLM then, but now become SPLM IO and SPLM IG. And of course, there will be more parties to come, because South Sudan is destined to take on the multi-party system, in which everyone will desire to any party that he or she wants. So I just wanted to give you a head up of what you wanted to see now, while I'm waiting for Simon or Ganya Tungong, who will be finishing our program later by at 9 o'clock. So we have more time now. You can stick around. If anybody has a question, if anybody has something that bothers you that you want to know, you want to discuss about, yes, as long as it's a public consumption, yes, we can definitely discuss here, as long as it's public consumption. We will not condone talking about personalities. We will not accept anything like that. But we will accept anybody that thinks that he does not understand what we are standing for. Yes, this is for you, and let's discuss it. Anybody that challenge us, this is why we're here, because we need to discuss things for our country, issues that matter to us civilly and with constructive language. So go ahead and enjoy. We will be back as soon as possible.
The economy needs more and more non-oil revenue. At this time, both the government and the farmers are keen to take advantage of the suitable farming land in South Sudan. But first, they need rain and need enough of it. Compared to last year, about enough inches of rain has already fallen between April and May in many areas in South Sudan. This is already a positive sign and a good news for everyone. In order to galvanize and show the public the significance of farming, Vice President of the Republic of South Sudan took a bold initiative to leave busy work and lead the nation to plantation fields. On his first leg of the 2 days visit of Unity State, Dr. Machar has just touched down at Rubicon Airstrip. Vice President came here not only to see and kick off his farming projects, but also to encourage the local to come out in a huge number and cultivate this fertile agricultural land. Received at the airstrip by the newly appointed Deputy Governor of Unity State, Michael Chang Jieg, The vice president drove to one of the projected plantation fields here at the other side of Rubicon Bridge near the airstrip. Even before plowing, the land looks fertile and ready for commercial farming. A young nation with a great natural resource where oil produces the majority of the country revenue, agriculture is the only natural resource that can be sure taken for granted. The agriculture needed to be the priority in order to tackle the food security in South Sudan.
You know, I like to discuss these parts of what you have just seen here about the culture in our country. Despite of what is happening in South Sudan, we have a land that's waiting for us, a fertile land that needs somebody, that needs you, myself, and everyone in South Sudan to get out there. This country is already a wealthy nation without even the oils. You don't even have to add the oil part of it. The only reason that prevent this now is us. We are the only problem to ourselves. Yes, the leaders. This has nothing to do with the public in South Sudan. In a real world, we, the SPLM members from both sides, whether you are IG or IO, we owe our publics an apology. An apology for not standing up to what you believe in us. Because, of course, the SPLM did bring the independence of the countries. Not that it was the SPLM that started it. Yeah, it was started long before that by the same South Sudanese. And it came during the SPLM as well. But there's no wrong time to do the right thing. There's no wrong time to do the right things. And now should be the right time. In spite of what had happened before, in spite of all these problems that we create ourselves, it's time to get together and work around this shaky peace agreement in South Sudan and make sure that it's there for all of us. We have killed each other for a very long time. We have killed innocent people for a very long time. But one thing that helped the country to grow is to stick to peace agreement. We understand that this peace is rather in a coma, but it's us that will bring out of that coma. As I tell you, it's only us that will bring it out of the coma. But we cannot do anything without working together. For those who think that the SPLM IO is not the right path, it's your right, but find something else as the vehicle to take you to the right path you are talking about. You're talking about war here and there, especially for us, those who are in diaspora. It's not the only way. There's so many ways to change things that go wrong in the country. And one of these ways is to stick to a peace, even though the agreement is not the best for us, not the best for everybody. But at least it helps us preventing the all-out war that we are going through, that we have been through before. So this is what the SPLM about. The SPLM IO that we are every Wednesday talk about now, myself and Simon Toot, is the SPLMs that call for a country to change, and SPLMs that want every citizen in South Sudan to have a voice. Your voice should not be embellishing leaders. Your voice should not be singing about how this leader, that leader is very tremendous person and all that. That's not the voice the SPLMIO is talking about. We are talking about an independent voice, a voice that asks for what he or she wants in that country, because the country belongs to all of us. But the problem is that we were at war. We are still at war as we speak today. Anybody that said that there's no war in Sudan, that's not true. Yes, there's a war in South Sudan. But it is this war that will, it is this through this war that will change to a peace agreement. And that's what we are talking about. And that's what we want you to talk about as well. And that's what we want you to embrace as well. Because it will not come from someone else, it will come from you. I challenge you as South Sudanese in diaspora. Ask yourself today, 5 days ago, 2 weeks ago, who have you been as another South Sudanese apart from your own tribes? How many of them? If I tell you to call someone now, don't call the one you don't like, but call someone that you talk to. That's what we call unity. That's what we call coming together. You cannot wait for Dr. Mashar and Salva Kiir to come together so that you will come together. No, this country belongs to you, myself, and anyone else. That's why we have leaders come and go. For young people who think that Dr. Mashar is not right for you, that's your point. We give you that. But do you really understand what is not right for you? If you do understand, then get to something that will take you forward. Because what Dr. Mashar needs is not what you want. You just need a country. If you think Dr. Mashar and the SPLM, IO are not doing it right, don't just sit idle. Do something. And doing that will land you here with us. Because we are the party that believe that we will take us forward. Having said that, I want not to be this talking head here. I want to send a shout out to our viewers. Let me start again with Nyoko Tap. I don't know if you're still there. I want to say thanks for showing up. You're the first on the list. Philip Guy Lunch, I don't know if you're still there. If you have anything to add or you want to say hi, please go ahead. And I want all of you to share the program and send it out so that other people will be able to see it. Sarah Dwell, yes, our senior and super supporter and a member, always being there every time we are on. Nyapini, Dol Nyapini, again, you've been coming in and on, on and off. So you've been coming all the time. And I want your question as well. You've been asking very good questions during the time that we were talking about I don't know what was the topic. So we also need you to ask some questions and possibly come in as well if you have time. Galwag Banang, yes, you are watching with us. And Galwag Banang again said that, let me read it again. People should focus on visions. They support not the temporary leader of the party that can be changed anytime tomorrow. That is very, very true, brother. That is very, very, very true. And guess what? You know, people that are focusing on a leader, they don't even know that tomorrow they can be the leader of that party or the leader of that country. So work for what is on your level. For Michael Chokchok, the chairman of the Nuer community in the United States, Nyajeje is a great gift. Nyajeje is one of the musicians. Nyajeje is a great gift to all of South Sudanese, of course, Sudanese, and one of the best artists there is. That is very true. I agree with you, Mr. Chairman. Elizabeth Joseph sent us a lot of love, heart, and all that. Thank you so much, Elizabeth. Elizabeth is from the United States here in Tennessee. Yes. Oh, I have my brother and also one of my debater, always, all the time. Yes, we have Chanko Ganya Tungong Ganyamrand. Yes, he will join in 5 minutes. Guys, he's coming in 5 minutes. Yes. Hello.
Hello. Hey.
Hello. Arjun, how are you?
How are you? Hello. How are you doing today?
Welcome to Inside SPLM tonight. Where are you calling from?
Yeah, I'm here. I'm here in Iowa.
Oh, are you my neighbor all
Oh
this
yes,
time?
yes.
I didn't know that. How? I never meet you. I go to Iowa all the time,
Okay.
and I've never seen you anywhere. How come?
Yeah, maybe I travel sometime.
Oh, you travel all the time. Now, can you explain while I'm waiting for Simon Tood? You had a picture in Washington. Don't tell me why you go to Washington, but you had a very good picture in Washington. Is standing on one leg. What was the impression on that? When Bill Clark joined when built.
Where,
Yes, how are you?
where is the picture you by much? Where is the picture you talking about?
I saw you went to Washington, right?
Yeah,
That was a week or two ago.
yeah. We will go
You stood,
to.
the reason I bring it up is so funny. In our country, I don't know why the part of South Sudan where you are in, but where I come from when I was a child, I can see people standing like that with their spears, uh, you know, taking cows here and there on a bank of the river, and unfortunately, they didn't have clothes though. So it brought me that memory. So what was the style for?
Yeah, it will be good if you can actually have. I don't have it here and
Oh,
show
okay,
it
that's
here so
fine.
that
Oh,
the audience
you
can see
don't
it.
mind about it. I thought you remember that, but that's a good picture. Um,
Yeah.
well, this is SPLM tonight, inside SPLM tonight, and we discuss everything about the SPLM. So, welcome to SPLM. Should I welcome you to the show or welcome you to SPLM?
Yeah, whatever. Yeah. What are you talking about? I wanted to just comment on the some of the thing that your video from I think is from last couple years back, 10 to maybe
Yes,
13
that's
years
about it.
ago.
Yes.
Yeah, and then one picture you show here was when you went to Bentiu,
Hmm.
and you kind of like you are with by president and. I don't know. You had a photo of the landscape from the sky or just from when you already landed. And you talking about agriculture. That's the things that I wanted to talk about.
Yes.
Yeah, and it's like you saying that this is a time, and I would say it is wrong for you to actually say that it is the time to start devolving that land or maybe thinking otherwise. Uh, you know, the most important thing that we should be concerning right now, I don't know if it is myself alone that I've been, should be the top priority of the people now, is to stop the what is going on right now. You know, because what is going on if we start developing right now, I have a lot of ideas to actually to develop that land and have everybody food they can eat, especially in Apanal and all over South Sudan. And you can see, especially here in Iowa, we have a lot of equipment. Leave about the South Sudanese government, they cannot do nothing, but the diaspora can do something, you know, including me here. That kind of land,
But
if
Gal, here's the point, and let's talk about. You told me that I should not be talking about agriculture now. There are some pressing issues that we should be discussing, or that South Sudan should do now. Right? That what you're saying?
yes,
Okay. Now let's just talk about that point alone.
okay,
As we speak now, right? The peace in South Sudan is what it is now, right? We do have people in South Sudan. Life is still going on, whether we are at war or not. The land is still there. Now, in a part where there is no war as we speak today, what is wrong about telling them to go ahead and cultivate and make sure that they produce food on their own way? What's wrong about that?
yeah. The wrong thing is that as you can see what is from what is going on around the country. it will be wrong for you now to just waste your time cultivating thing, and then there are some guy with the which are also your own brothers, but maybe from a different tribe. They will come and take that one from you by force, or maybe they fight, and then you find yourself, maybe you got scared and you are displaced. So those are the things now we wanted to be concerned about that. And that's why I think most investors, because South Sudan is not don't have capacity actually to develop a land. That is why they are having Chinese in Bentiu. If you go to this unity, all those oil workers, most of the engineers are Chinese. They are brought from China, simply because the country don't have capacity. Okay, so it's the same thing in a land, a dry land like that, for it to be developed and for it to be used. The South Sudanese, they cannot use that right now. You can tell somebody to go and use this traditional tool they used to use when during our grandfathers or our fathers.
Brother,
they are not useful right now.
Brother Dal, let be realistic here. What you are saying is you have a point. I understand. Okay, I'm not throwing away your point. You definitely have a point. But what I want to hear from you here is let's be realistic. Okay, we have our people that are there as we speak now. They have life to live, right? The peace we are talking about, the equipment you are talking about, the system you are talking about, life is going on now. Don't you think that we can also attend to them and support whatever they do until we get to what we want later?
I wouldn't call it as a life, that kind of rough, that's not a life where you are not stable. You don't have food. You are in your own country. There is no education. You don't have the livelihood of a future.
Are you saying that no education you can't live?
You can live, but I think I will call it is a survival. It's called survival.
Of course,
it's not a life.
But
survival mean you don't get it today. Maybe you die tomorrow. That's a survival. It's not a life. What is happening in our country? Okay, so that's why we are saying, the good thing for us to do something like that, we need to actually to change the regime, to be thinking about changing the regime. Okay, not to be thinking to ally with the regime. And that's making it very hard for us, for the folk that are thinking about allying.
What is the regime to you? What does regime mean? What does regime stand for?
A regime is the sort of group of people that assume power to abuse anybody.
Who are in the same political party, right?
Well, you got it, but it has to be like the Kir policy, Kir regime, tribal policy. Well, that is the thing that you need to be thinking to change that, but not to ally with it, because when you ally with that system, you making it very hard for
what I'm correcting here
for the country.
Okay. Listen to what Dr. Macha is saying.
We close the flow of our oil up north. Well, when the oil is closed, the revenue we get from the oils is no more. Now that the oil revenue, which is 98%, is not there, we have to think about other alternatives. Leading a nation of more than 8 million is not like leading a one person. It is a challenge that needs to be tackled with collective ideas. Everyone in South Sudan must take the advantage of the rain to cultivate his or her own plantation. This year, I have decided to farm together with people of Unity State. The goods we imported from Khartoum, Kenya, Uganda, Ethiopia, and other neighboring countries are purchased by the dollars from our oil. Because we closed the oils and lost the oil revenue, these dollars are no longer there. With no dollars available on the market, clothes like this or this soda can even this bottle of water will go up because all are imported from another country. We haven't manufactured this yet in our country. In addition, we have no commercial agriculture farm that would enable us to produce more food and sell it to another country. While we haven't accomplished that before, the government has said we must achieve this task now. The government has declared that our food must not come from outside the country because the cost of food drain our economy. Even if our oil revenue is back on the market and produces revenue we wanted, we must cultivate our food and use the oil money to buy tractors, vehicles, construct more roads, better the country's pharmaceutical needs, and anything else that can help this nation. Four different government officials came to.
Now, if you see this is what SPLM about. Going to people and tell them what is right for them to do. Okay? The reason I'm playing this is what should be happening in the country. Now that's where your point come in. If you say Myung, now, yes, I understand what you guys are saying is right, but how are you going to apply it when there's no peace? That would be a point that you'd be talking about. But for now, let's tell our people, wherever you are, if you are not fighting anybody, which is I hope that will not be the case, go ahead and plan. Plan your farms, and make sure that you have food for tomorrow. So what is wrong about that, Comrade Dwala?
Well, there are so many things wrong here. First of all, the way these guys are talking here, including Dr. Machar, the idea of farming, the way they apply it to people, is kind of a whole idea, and they don't know how the environment has changed.
Give me the new idea. What is the new idea?
So the new idea will be, they should actually, if I were the vice president at that time when he was going there, the message should not be telling people to go and farm. The message should be telling people about the climate change, because even the picture, there is a huge change. Even before the war, there's a huge change already. So farmers, actually, they were not able to farm simply because their crop, they don't grow well. They don't produce anything. That is something that can be addressed. But, they fail to address and pushing people, go and farm. And people are coming to town, and the area climate change is going on. So this thing, you have to address them. And the way to address them, you want to have a good food in your own country. We call it a food security. The first thing you need to address is what we call capacity. So you should have a capacity, Without capacity, you cannot develop that land. You can't develop it with a traditional, like the way my mothers and my dad used to actually struggle. That the land was okay. The land has no change. But right now, you tell them to do it that way, they wouldn't get anything, my brother. Well, that's why they fail. That is what they fail to understand.
Yes, Brother Dal. I'm going to bring Simon Toot, also known as Changot Kanyatungong, and the show will start. Our show tonight will actually discuss what are the SPLM visions about. And that's why I brought this up, so that this is something we'll be discussing as well. But I want you to know, when you were born, I bet you were not born in a hospital. And now your children are in a hospital. But when you were born, whether you were born in a hospital or not, it did not prevent your parents to raise you in whatever life they are, hoping that you will be wearing a tie today. I understand your point that we should be having a modern farming. Definitely, I understand that, brother. But as we speak now, let's do what works for our people until we get to what you're asking about.
Yeah, but you know, Mayong, that is why sometimes I disagree with people who are calling the people to act in a wrong in a wrong cause. You know, so right now, because you know that our people, you really know that we need a capacity to develop that kind of land, and our people cannot go even if we push them to go and farm, they're not going to get nothing. So what we should be calling right now is to, for if there is at all a government, the government should have a capacity. And the capacity is what? Capacity should not be that they should have money. No. Diaspora, even myself right now, if I have money, I wanted to invest in Bentiu, okay?
All
But
right.
because of
Hold on,
security,
hold on your
because of
thought.
insecurity, you cannot.
Hold on your thought. We will be right back.
We don't see our leaders, actually dialoguing with each other.
Meritocracy of older people. You can see there's different elder councils from different tribal groups that are essentially running things and overlooking us young people.
Welcome to South Sudan today. My name is Myong Kwant. You are watching us live here in the United States and in Australia as well. We have our brother Simon Toot, also known as Changkot Ganya Tungong, Ganyam Rand. Also with me here is Doll Argent. He's one of the newcomers who hopefully will be soon a member of SPLM. Welcome, brother Simon. How are you?
I'm very good, thank you. How are you?
I'm doing good.
Okay, that's good. What
That's
about
good.
our brother, Honorable Dolarjin? How you doing?
I'm doing great. Thank you.
Okay, that's good. That's good.
I like the idea of collusions. We are in the collusion right now. So this is a collusion. There are no other collusion we talk about. But anyway, Simon, our topic discussion tonight will have to do with the vision of the SPLM. What are some of the vision of the SPLMs that should attract our people, the publics? And one of the reasons is the video that I brought up. We'll be discussing it as well. It's me, myself, and Dr. Riek Machar when we went to South. Well, many times we travel around South Sudan, and we want our people to understand that our vision does not only focus in Juba. Our vision does not only focus with the SPLM's members. It's a vision that want to change the country, and that will start with the agriculture in our country. But again, brother Simon, welcome to the show. What does it tell us about a little bit of Perth? What is it in Perth? How is the weather there?
Yeah. Thank you once again. Perth is quite good today. It's raining outside. The roads are wet, and I just got back from work. So yeah, it's quite good. The weather is nice. It's not very cold, but it's raining outside.
Just like here too, it's been raining here. I think the whole world is about the rain now. Even in Africa, I'm told that in part of Africa it's also raining, which is not bad. But anyway, brother Dalarjin, our discussion tonight, like I've explained to you, is about the visions of the SPLMs. We're not going to discuss it all tonight, but we will visit some of it. And I have some that I put to here, and hopefully, brother Simon will also give us his great presentations when we come to why we are SPLM members. But before we proceed, I have some tidbit news that I want to add to our show. One of it is that this program now has changed to 7 p.m. Central Standard Time and 8 p.m. Eastern Time. In Australia, it will be 10 a.m. in the morning in Melbourne, and will be 8 a.m. in Perth. Correct me if I'm wrong, because I'm using my system here, could be wrong as well. So let me know, Brother Simon. So this is what I want our viewers to know, and I want them to understand that this part of the show will, this is a segment of the show that the other segment will come in at 9 sharp with Dr. Thach. This is about leadership and about the South Sudanese diaspora here, and that will include everybody. That's the time that we'll talk about the South Sudan, talk about anything else apart from our SPLMIO. So, welcome to the show, Simon. I want to hear from you.
Yeah, just like I said, thank you once again for hosting us. I also have to compliment our brother Dolarjin. I think Dolarjin, you mute yourself.
Yes, you did.
Oh yeah, I'm listening.
Oh, okay. Yes. I think the question is straightforward. This is also a topic that we have discussed part of it previously in regard to the vision of the SPLM IO, or the movement of the SPLM. We all understood why our country is in mess at the moment. It is because we are lacking certain things. And because we are lacking certain things, these are the things that we have to highlight when we talk about the vision of the SPLM IO movement. Most of us will disagree or agree, then that's part of the politics. It's the nature of politics that you can disagree or agree. But let us revisit what had happened in our country over the last 10 years. Over the last 10 years, we have seen that our country cannot be governed under the old system because the whole system has proven beyond reasonable doubt that it cannot govern the people of South Sudan based on equality, based on a just rule of law, based on a just democracy, and all the other forms of human rights. We have a lot of examples that we can give to support these notions or these agendas. Over the years, we have seen the brutality of the regime of Salva Kiir. We have seen also the consistency of Salva Kiir reluctance to develop our country. Perhaps they are using the whole Arab system where they were developing north while leaving southern Sudan at the time, southern region of the country at the time, undeveloped. These forms of leaderships are ushered in so that other people will be held hostage or feel inferior, so that they can kneel down and worship that regime that is leading the country. So unless, according to the northern Sudan rulers, unless you kneel down to worship them, then you will not see development. This is what we have seen over the years through Salva Kiir. He wants us to kneel down and bow down to him so that he can bring development to our states or our regions. So if I may go directly to the aims and objective of the movement, you need to understand that the reason as to why we are advocating on these changes is because the whole system was never working for us. We have been in a country where democracy is not being preached, it's not being practiced. That's number one. Because if you want to live a life where you can be able to experience all the form of your luxurious belongings or living, then you need to live in a democratic society. Just like in Western world where we live in democratic society, where your expectation will be realized if you work for them. Your dreams can be achieved if you work on them. But in South Sudan, since we achieved our independence, the leadership of Salva Kiir proven to us that it will never give us that room for democracy. There will be no democracy, and therefore that is why reform agenda within the SPLM-IO is imminent, because we need democracy. There is no rule of law in our country, and SPLM-IO is in the front line of saying that we must usher in and bring forth the rule of law into the country so that every son and daughter of South Sudan will be safeguarded, will be protected by law. We need a secular system of governance. What this means to some people that might not understand is that we need a country whereby if you are a Christian, you cannot be beaten or killed because of your belief. If you are a Muslim, for that matter, you cannot be killed or terrorized for your belief. Everybody can believe in, even the African, religion believers, those who believe in gods with S. You can believe in whatever you believe in, and no one can threaten you, as to why you believe in that. This is a society we dream of, a secular system of governance whereby everybody can believe in whatever they believe in, but as long as there's rule of law, as long as there is a system that is guiding us, then we can enjoy the leverages that is awarded to us through our citizenship. There has to be popular participation of all South Sudanese people. In the current system of governance within the ruling party of Salva Kiir, we don't have such a system in place. The only system we have in place at the moment is a system that is using preference or preferential treatment, whereby if my brother Doalarjin is not from my community, from my tribe, from my community, from my clan, or even from within my family, I cannot give him the opportunity to lead. I cannot give him the opportunity to work in certain sectors of the government. These are things that we need to change if we want a better country. We also have a vision of making sure that we promote general well-being of our people through healthcare system, where we can build hospital in every counties, every payams and bomas, so that health and development come to the people, not people going to search for it long distance. If you look at the current system, I don't see any hospital in Akobo that is funded and run by the government. And even in your own county, brother and Ambassador Muyong, you would agree with me also that there is no hospital in your local area that is built and funded by the government. So these are things that we have to usher in if we want a better country for all, so that all of us can feel the sense of our citizenship. We have to start enjoying the leverages that is awarded to us through our citizenship. We have to eradicate poverty. This might not be something that we have to wait for long, because as a party, as a movement, if we want to thrive in the country, we must advocate to eradicate poverty, because when people are hungry, people will always look for ways to kill each other. If you are hungry, you would have to break windows regardless of how strong they are to make sure you bring food to the table for your family. Back in 2009-10, Paganamum came to South Sudan, came to Australia, and we asked him, if for those of you that might have forgotten, Paganamum, Honorable Pagan was the former SPLM Party Secretary General. He came to Australia, and on his visitation, we asked him a question. as to why there is rampant corruption across the country. And he alluded to certain things such as, polygamy or polygamous way of life in South Sudan, where one man can have multiple wives and maybe 10, 20, 30 children. And perhaps some of them goes as far as 50 children. He alluded into such things, such practices as key as to why there is rampant corruption. Other things that he mentioned were inappropriate way of keeping money. And also there was no banking system that is paying workers, especially the civil servants. He alluded to certain things such as misappropriation of funds across all sectors. He said that there were, the only ways in which soldiers were paid and all the other civil servants were that the money has to be taken out of maybe the Reserve Bank or South Sudan Bank and given to a minister or given to the president. And the president will take them in boxes and then call a minister, give the minister maybe 1 or 2 boxes full of money. And the minister will take the money and take them to his office. And before they reach the grassroots, like those who are working in the grassroots, the money already found ways in the pockets of the ministers and the MPs and all of you. So by the time an innocent person that is working on the ground in Wad or in Lankin or in Nasser and Maiwood and all those, before they receive their salaries, the money are taken. If it was categorized that they would get a payment of 2,000 South Sudanese pounds, they will be lucky to receive 500 pounds. Because when the money leaves the bank and goes through the hands of president, to the ministers, to the MPs, and then to all the others, everyone will be taking certain amount of money. So by the time a normal working citizen receive his dues, the money are already well spent by those guys. So our country need to be reformed so that we eradicate poverty. And once we eradicate poverty, peace will thrive in the country because no one will kill somebody to loot their cattle or to loot their belongings. Other things that we are hoping to achieve through SPLM-IO is to make sure that there has to be a way in which we can defend the values of democracy. Because unless we defend these values, our country cannot find a durable peace because everybody will be fighting for their ways in which they can be respected. All this can be respected through defending of our democratic values and our democratic rights. How can we defend them? Through justice and rule of law. So we have to implement the principle of democratic federalism. Our country must be ruled through federal system. There are a lot of people who are against this rule or this system of ruling. If you look at all the countries around the world, most of them, at least 80%, they are using this form of governing system where federal system is used. There is equitable and just way of dividing roles and works of certain individuals. But where there is no federal system, there is always a corrupt way of finding a way to rule the people. And this is not what the world has come to now, because every country in the world want to be ruled through federal system where democratic is the only talk of the day. And that is what we want to install in South Sudan if we want to have a just peace forever. We don't want to have the current system where Salva Kiir is building multiple hospitals in a Wanchan County or in his own community, whereas in other states and other counties and payams, they would not have a single hospital. Once we have federal system in place, there has to be a just way of dividing resources, a just way in which hospitals and all the other amenities must be built in all states, all counties, all payams, and all bomas, so that we all have to share in the resources of our country. So there has to be promotion of women in our systems of governance. There is nothing to prove more than what we have seen in the SPLM-IO so far. If you look at how SPLM-IO has nominated the allocated positions, there is a just representation of women across the board. Within the ministries, we have allocated certain portfolios to women. In the states, we have also allocation of certain portfolios to women. And not also to mention the youth must also be looked after. And that is why when you look at the SPLM-IO also, we have advocated hugely on this position where youth must be represented. In the system, in the ruling governing body, the SPLM in government under Salva Kiir, these things are things of the, these things are like illusions. They don't practice them. They don't believe in an inclusive workforce through women inclusion and youth. You cannot mention a minister in the governing body by the SPLM-IG that is a woman. There is no youth ministry in the governing body ruled by Salva Kiir. So if you go to the SPLM-IO, we have put in action, or through our action, that we can nominate youth into certain portfolios. Some of these portfolios, if you look at the Minister of Petroleum, is a youth, is a young man under age 45. We also have women. We have Clayton Real in Baragazal. She's a governor. She's a woman. We have Angelina Teng. She's a woman. She's a Minister of Defense, a woman. And we have all the other portfolios that we have included women. So I think you have muted yourself, Ambassador Muyong.
We have Minister of Health is also a woman.
Yes, Minister of Health, she's also a woman. And there are other portfolios that we might not have to mention. So this is action. This is a task through action.
And of course, we have Dr. Ball also for the youth. Yes.
Yes. And across the board, if you look at the SPLM-IO, we are actually advocating hugely on these steps, that women must be included, youth must be included, and we have to get rid of the old system whereby if you are 40 years old, they still call you a young boy. If you are 20-year-old, they still call you a young boy, even if you have children. So if you are 40-year-old, you have children, you have a wife, you have a house, you have a living. So how can another man call you a young boy? These are men that want to eradicate the fact that youth should change the country. Because when you include youth and women in any governing body, there has to be change. Change is realized in the country. So we have to respect diversity, and we have to advocate to include diversity within the governance system that we are going to use. We have to have diversity so that everybody will feel...
brother, can I interject a little bit? You talk a lot, and I think the show can be discussion, right?
Yeah, let him finish the point of the visions.
Yeah, he already did the
Yeah, when
vision.
you
Actually,
finish the vision, then we're definitely going to jump into it. Go ahead, Simon.
It's all right. I know you would want to participate, Dwal Arjun, but unfortunately, I think through the invitation and the introduction, we are told we should listen first to the vision, and then if there is anything that you don't want, or anything that you think is not true, then you can come in and also take your time. I have no issue with that.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So
Yeah. So I know that it might be very early for us to talk about the vision, and this is probably what is making you interject. That is absolutely okay. But I think we are trying to elaborate on the fact that if we have peace in the country, then we must highlight the vision in which we believe in. And I know you also believe in this vision, but maybe the way in which we can put them in action might be different. Yeah. So let me just finish. Let me not go through all of them because there are many. But let me just touch on 2 or 3. One is we must enhance accountability in all sectors, because without accountability, money will go, will go losing. We will be losing funds in all the sectors because there is no accountability. When there is no transparency and good governance, all the resources in our country will be used. And this takes me to this statement by the Minister of Finance. I think it happened over the weekend or earlier this week, where Minister of Finance, through the news channel, he said that the gold mine or the gold in the country is being looted. Okay, that is the Minister of Finance that said that the gold mine in the country or the gold resources in the country is being looted. Now, if you question yourself, who's looting this gold? It is not a normal citizen like myself and my brother Dal. These are the elites, the politicians. They are the ones that are actually looting the gold, and they will go and sell it in the black market. So we have to make sure that we have good governance and accountability plus transparency in how we extract our resources and how we market our resources, in how we use our revenues, so that people can know that certain things are not taking place. We talk about gender equality in the SPLM-IO movement. We must advocate on gender equality. It might not be as preached in the Western world, though, because Africa is different. Let us not say, okay, now SPLM-IO, there might be people who would say, if we talk about gender equality, we are talking about advocating for gay and lesbians and all this. No. In my view as a South Sudanese, I believe gender equality, is actually talking and addressing the issue of women rights and youth rights and children rights. So we must protect the women. Our women must be protected. Our children must be protected, so that gender inequality cannot continue to be realized or be seen in South Sudan. I don't think we can, we can argue with that there is inequality when it comes to gender balance in South Sudan, and we must promote it, the equality of that. We must also protect the unity of the people of South Sudan. We cannot be the force that divide the people of South Sudan. The current system, or the current SPLM-IG and the Salva Kiir, they have worked very hard to divide our people, and it is our right now. It is our constitutional right to advocate and make sure the people of South Sudan are united and remain in unity. We must promote economic self-efficiency so that we can be sufficient through economy. Just like Dr. Riek was talking about this agenda. This is not now. I think it was time ago. He was talking about economy and how we can generate wealth through our God-given lands. All of us own lands. If it is not you, your family own land, and it is up to us when there is peace in the country to make sure land is developed. The party in the government or the government of the day must make sure that resources are diversified, resources are divided and actually diversified to all persons in South Sudan, so that if I want to farm in my land, I have all the resources to make sure that my crops will yield good harvest. And all there are other things that I will mention thereafter. But for now, let me stop here, or let me pause here so that my brother Doalarjin can take us back to war. Welcome, Ambassador Muyong. Take your podium.
Thank you very much. We can you hear me?
Yes. I don't know, brother Doalarjin, if he can hear you, but I can hear you.
Yeah, I hear him.
All right, thank you very much.
I'm hearing.
Thank you very much, brother Simon. You have given us a very adequate information, because the reason of this show is to tell people, explain to them from day in day out every Wednesday about what is the SPLM about, and what you have just shown to them, whether to someone who like it or not, they will understand what we are about. It has been too much of SPLM leadership. It has been too much of Dr. Riek Machar, that and here and this and that. It's about what is there for. It's about what is leading. It's about what should be for our country. So the ruling party, which is the SPLM-IG now, and that's what I want to correct to my brother Doalarjin. There's nothing called regime now as we speak, but there's a ruling party within the united, or within the government of national unity. Okay, because if you see the vice president of the country, it does not come from the same party that the president come from, and that is called a national unity. It's no longer a regime, because it's not peace, and that is why we call it a peace. Because without this peace agreement, Salva Kiir and his party would do it their way, even though they are doing it the way that they want. Pretty much, we are working on changing the cause of this chip that is going. So now, go ahead. Yeah, you're the one that has the point.
Yeah, I think I've just kind of wanted to point out some of the things that Shankol was sharing here. And I think, you forgetting that there are two conflicting ideas within the SPLAIO right now. So you're talking about the vision, and you are outlining some of the things that you think is a vision. Well, you forget that now there is a vision for leaders that are in Juba, and there's IO, and there's also the vision for the common person, ordinary people, and followers. Even the IO followers right now, they are having a hard time actually to following the thing that you have outlined. I'm not going to speak for them, but I'm just wanted to point out that the main thing now, the main
thing, speak your mind. Just be honest, because
the main thing, is not about to advocate for the reform or the whatever the IO has been singing for a long time. I think in the mind of the people, I believe people, they wanted to actually to totally remove the regime in Juba and replace it. That is what is people now. Most of the IO followers that has been for IO, that is the line they are thinking about.
But for you, guy, I think you have a different school of thought, which I believe is from Juba, because the leadership now, some of it are ally in Juba with Kir. So I believe that is where you are from, where you talk of reform or what. But I believe that most of the IO, they don't believe in that, and that's what, if you are really wanted to promote your party as IO, from my point of view, I think you need to be talking about, you need to show the followers what they really wanted to, why they should be supporting your party. So I think most people now, if not 80% in South Sudan, they wanted to actually remove the system in Juba and replace it with a new system. That is the vision for the people now.
Now,
So that's one. Second, the second thing will be, most people are mobilizing themselves to take action. Okay, politically, militarily, and they are not.
let me
They are
interject
not
on this.
mobilizing themselves to join with Bakir now.
Let me interject. I want your point to go forward as well, but I want to be clear here, Dal. Okay, I understand that you have nothing to do with the government in Juba. You want to change and bring a new regime in Juba. That is okay. Now, my question here, let's talk about Dal himself, nobody else, you, right? As you think that government in Juba should change and bring another one, what are you doing now? Don't tell me your private or your plan, but what is it that you are doing to change it? Why you are in the United States?
Well, it's very wrong for people to think that to bring the change in the country that you have to be locally in Southern Sudan. No, that's wrong. So there's a lot of things that to be done, uh, uh, even in others neighboring country. And if at all there will be a change in Southern Sudan later on, I don't think it's going to be is going to more openly just by themselves. No. Take a look at when we have the Southern Sudan and the conflict, the longest civil war in Sudan and South Sudan. It wasn't Southern Sudanese themselves. Remember, United States has help with the suppression idea of referendum, all these things. So, this is illogical to think that the change can only come when you are. That's not the logic.
No, what I'm saying here is
So
that
what we are doing now,
Listen.
especially if you know myself, I am advocating for removal of the regime in Juba and replace it with a new one. That is why I'm
Who's the new one?
advocating.
Who's the new one?
Sorry?
Who's the new one?
The new one
What is that new one vision for?
The new one vision is to actually to end the war, end a tribal war, and end tribalism in the country that has been dividing the country. That is what we are going to see. We are going to see a new country with new policies without tribalism, and that.
I understand. I understand, but the point here is that you gotta have some things, Doal. Are you the one? Are you the leader that is in the sideline waiting, or who is that next leader that want to bring people?
Well, a change, as you know, Mayong, change cannot come from one person. I'm a leader of union. That you guys, you are a leaders from IO, and another person is leader from somewhere. That is what we by making a coalition, then we can bring the change to the country. We can remove the system that is there and replace
So
it.
you are telling us to make a coalition in the bush, or you are coming to Juba to make coalition?
Not necessarily. You can make coalition across anywhere in the world. Make a coalition, put your effort together, and then go ahead and make a change. That is what we are talking about.
Okay.
So let's try to avoid to ally with the system that we wanted to change, and that's what most of you you calling it like government, like you just call it like we are in government. There's by president, so is the government for everybody. Well, that's wrong for him. It's wrong. You are because so the half of the country is actually is not with that government right now.
Okay.
Half of the country, imagine.
Well, I know you have a
Comrade
very.
Balarjin,
you have
can I ask
something
you a
to say.
question?
You just need to help us how we get what you have. Go ahead, Simon.
Comrade Balarjin, let us be practical, and that is why sometimes I like people like yourself, because it doesn't matter whether you immerse yourself in an area where 100% are supporting the other opposition and you are alone. You are a great fighter, to be honest. You can fight alone forever, and that's a good thing, because because that will make people respect you. But sometimes when you fight alone for a long time, you need to look at why you're fighting alone. Okay, you need to look at why people are not joining you to fight together with you. Okay, and that is what we call good leadership. When you are a great leader, you look at the reason as to why. Like now, if I've been leading people here in Western Australia, and I realize that people are no longer in supporting of my leadership, then I need to question myself why people are not supporting me. Okay.
Well, I already know that question. I already know the answers.
No. I'm just complimenting what you are doing. What I'm saying is you are doing great work, because. But my question is this: I say let us be practical, and you need to be practical with us now. You are against what is happening. Okay. Can you give us reason as to why, one or two, not too many, one or two reasons why you don't like the peace agreement as it stands? That's number one. Okay, I hope you are noting them. Two, yeah. Two, can you tell us a better way in which we can handle the current situation? Because we have tried through war or through bullets and guns. You were there from the beginning, but you ran away because you didn't want to face the bullets. Okay? Now that you run away from the bullets and you want to change through talking, which is okay. That's all right. I agree with you that change doesn't happen because you are on the ground. Change can happen through different means. But can you tell us the means in which the current government can be changed? Because we didn't change it through guns in the last 8 years or 9 years. Tell us now practically that this is what we should do to change the government. Not rhetorics or no rhetorics. Let us be practical. Tell us, Jamkos, okay, this is how we can change this government. I don't want peace, but this is where my guns will come from, and this is where my soldiers will come from, and we can change the government through this. Tell us.
Yeah, first of all, for the first question you're saying about why I don't like the peace agreement. You know my stand, and it's good for me.
No, I say give us two reasons.
So number one reason is what I do believe is that the root cause of the war has never been addressed in Southern Sudan.
Mm-hmm.
And that one, I've been talking about it in the beginning of the war. Okay. The real root cause is never addressed. Yeah. So that is one of the main reasons that I cannot go to a system that I know is a resolution that I know is going to fail tomorrow. Mm. Because if we don't address the root cause, and then we are addressing our maybe interest or need, but it's going to fall out. That is the thing. And then to cut you short, how we can address it. Well, I have a number of series of almost 7 steps to address this issue. Okay, to really address, to give you the solution. And even you yourself, Chenko, you put this thing to work, it's going to work tomorrow. If not, if the regime is removed and people like me were given a chance, we're going to resolve it. So number one thing will be actually a coalition. Practical thing, what you are talking about, will be for us, we the opposition, to make coalition, not to make the coalition with the regime that already displaced you, a regime that has killed and committed genocide in the country. We make coalition with other actually faction outside of the regime. That is another practical thing that can actually resolve this.
But before you make that coalition, right? You are not actually convincing those who can make coalition with you. You are not even convincing us here. There are people that are watching you that can even be your follower, but you are not telling them what you can bring apart from what we have.
Well, to convince you now, to convince you that we have to make a coalition together, is that you have to really weigh between the two, making coalition with Salva Kiir or making coalition with Al-Arjin. Which one is much better? Well, Salva Kiir will offer you something now, but he's not going to give you peace. Probably you're going to end up maybe humiliating you every day, like the way he was threatening the vice president just a couple of weeks ago. Okay, surrounding him with 10, you see, just for opposing an idea. So now it is up to you. I have did my part to convince you that we need an ally, we need a coalition. But it is up to you now, Mayong, to really weigh in your brain. Weigh it. Is it Salva Kiir or to actually ally with my brother Dolargin?
Now,
that is where the thing begins.
Stop right there. Just hold your thought right there. Now, let me give you an analogy, right? We have a road, right? You show me the road. This is the road where you're going to. And I can see the road. I can feel the road. I can touch the road. But what is it in that road that I will find? Tell me now.
Yeah, that is basically, and that is the fear that people really don't want to take risks. In leadership, part of leadership is to take risks.
Tell me what is on that road.
So the road, we might not know what is on the road 100% because we are not God.
So you might not know yourself, right?
But we know part of what is on the road. For example, there is going to be struggle. Okay, there is going to be a lot of work to be done. Okay, so there's going to be effort. There's going to be probably maybe.
No, I know that struggle you're talking.
So that is what is on the road there.
Yes, but that is struggle you are talking about. We know that.
Okay,
but I know
so it's on the road. It's on the road.
Listen,
I wanted to tell you it's on the road.
You are my neighbor. You are in Des Moines right now, or somewhere in Iowa, right? So you are about 2 hours drive for me, right? Let's say that you, Dolargen, is the person I'm looking for. You are the honey. You are the thing that's the best. But you are in Iowa. Now I'm here in Nebraska. The road to Iowa I have to walk to that road. There are no cars. I have to walk. There's no better road to get to you. But the fact that knowing that Dolargen is there, it will force me to walk that difficulties in order to get to you. Now you are telling me that you have a system. What is that system? Before I get to it, because it doesn't matter what between me and your system. As long as I know that is good, I will walk there. Now tell me, what is the system?
Yeah, the system is making change, removing somebody who has been in leadership for good, replacing the tribal organization of that regime is a lot. So
stop there, Dolargen. I like your point that you have just mentioned.
The thing that will happen on it that you guys are fearing is you cannot predict. So the only thing you can do is part of it you give it to God.
Chairman,
because
Chairman,
if like what the example you say, you are driving and coming to my place, if there is a crazy animal or what you cross there, you make accident, you didn't predict, you didn't plan for that.
But what,
so that's what we are saying. Okay,
let's not talk
there
about
are struggle. In a struggle, we just have to take a risk. What we want to do is we have to remove this system and then take a risk. That is what we call determination and leadership.
But how do you know that they're not playing to that goal?
Yeah, to achieve the goal, it's not going to be easy. I know that. Yeah.
Yeah. Go ahead, Simon.
Okay. I asked you two questions before. I believe the first one you answered it rightly. Okay, you answer it rightly. But let me ask you again, Brother Doalarjin, because I asked you before that.
Yeah.
It's up to the people to judge whether you are right or wrong. I will not say, Doalarjin, you are wrong. But what I can tell you is this. So multiple times you come here and you tell us that you are the chairman of the UPSS party. But of lately, you refuse to be introducing yourself as such. Is it because of, you looking for a coalition with other parties so that you don't want to be seen as a dominant party or not?
Well, right now...
Why are you not introducing yourself nowadays? What's wrong?
Every time, there is a time for everything, as stated in the Bible. So this time, that time when my party was new, people don't know me. And right now, even if any show I go to, they already know me, even without introducing myself. So I think it will be a waste of time for me even to say my party and all that, because they already know me. And there's even my web page. There's a lot of things out there. I have a huge support that you guys, even in our whole country, I have a lot of supporters, the members of my party.
When was the last time you had a conference with your party?
Conference?
The last conference with your party.
Yeah, we did a conference last year. Yeah, we did a conference last year.
So what was the resolution for it?
The resolution is to actually change the regime in Juba. Yeah, that was our resolution here. Always has been there. Just remove the regime, and it's going to. By the way, it's going to close. It's going to be. But my fear is that when IO is already ally with Kir,
we got to move on.
They're going to be removed together.
Let me make this comment, Ambassador Muyong. Okay, what we are doing here, we are educating ourselves, and so are we also educating our listeners. Sometimes when we talk here, people think that you can be taken for granted, and that is why we always have to pinpoint certain things. Brother Doalarjin, you are against peace agreement because of the reason that you have said. You say that there was no discussion of the root causes. The root causes were never addressed.
Yes.
Have you read the agreement? Just be honest with me. Have you read the agreement?
Yes, I read the agreement. Yes.
Okay. If you have read the agreement, because I want to be practical here now, as Ambassador Muyong is trying to limit our time. If you have read the agreement, what chapter do we have justice and accountability, reconciliation and reparation?
Well, reconciliation and
reparation.
Reparation and justice and accountability. It's not. It's not those things.
No. I like what you are saying, but with respect, I'm just asking you a simple question, because you say I ask you a simple question. Have you read the document, the agreement? You say yes, and
yes, I read it. Yeah.
If you read the document, which chapter talk about justice, accountability, reparation, and reconciliation?
I think it's chapter 7, right?
Okay. No, that's the difference between chapter that
check it.
When
I think it's 7.
Sometimes when you say chapters, you are talking about the issues. There's chapter 1, chapter 2.
Yeah.
So these are different chapters. He's talking about the chapter within the agreement.
I'm talking about the chapter within this agreement. The agreement that you are calling that SPLMIO is just making an ally with Salva Kiir. So for your information, Brother Dalarjin, in this document that we signed, the SPLMIO signed a clear vision. You will disagree or agree, it's up to you. We sign a clear vision that must be implemented. And if it is not implemented, I will not predict what will happen. But for you, you might want to know the end game of this. But that I'm not saying this about you, but I'm just saying anybody that think out there, anybody that have the thought in their mind that we can give you a conclusive statement on what will be the end result of this game, you cannot be logical. Okay, so Brother Dalarjin, on this document, chapter 5, address the justice, accountability, reconciliation, and reparation of the victims of the conflict. So you will disagree or agree, that's absolutely your right. But in any war-torn country, you can never address, accountability, because when you talk about the root causes, you are also talking about accountability. You are also talking about justice. Someone got a background noise.
Okay, I am.
Yes. So when you talk about why are we not, let's say you said one of your grievances is that we have not addressed the root causes. But if your number one resolve is to make sure there is peace, there is no country in the world that has been engulfed in civil war, and they will say, let us address first the root causes. Because number one, there is no platform in which you will be able to address the root causes. There is no system, especially let us take it with the case of South Sudan. As we stand now, we don't have justice system that is able to amicably address the root causes of the conflict.
And if I can interject on exactly what you said there, right? Mm-hmm. Even the preparation of what of the part of the preparation of the document is talking about the properties that were lost, so that the government will actually compensate these people. Your question should be, is this real? Is this going to happen? And that's what Simon was telling you. Go ahead, Simon.
So my brother Dalarjin,
I think Simon is still like he's waiting for.
I will come to my waiting game.
I think you are waiting for implementation, right? It's like you are still.
What I'm trying to say, brother Dalarjin, is that the concern you have is no different from the concern we put here in this document that we have signed. The document we have signed has given us a framework to work on. And if peace is realized in the country, what you are talking about now, what you are trying to say is that I need the root causes to be addressed. But in this document, it gives us a framework to work on so that we are going to set up systems in place that will be able to address the root causes once and for all. But what you are trying to tell us now is that you are creating your own system without a platform. Like now you are telling us, let us address the root causes. Okay, if we address the root causes, and the root causes are bare, we all know them. You know the root causes. If I ask you what are the root causes of the conflict, you said you were with the tiger, right?
Yeah.
Okay, that means definitely Dalarjin knows the root causes of the conflict. Now, if you know the root causes of the conflict, and the people that were causing the conflict that we are talking about now are still in power, and there is no system that can be able to handle them, how are you going to address the root causes? That is why in a logical capacity, there has to be first the settlement of peace agreement. There has to be peace in the country. Because if we still fight, if we still rage in the country and fighting against each other, who are you going to bring to the table to talk to? No one. Number two, we want the root causes to be addressed when there is a just system, because root causes come with accountability. When there is accountability, there is justice. When there is justice, there is punishment. When there is punishment, there is reparation to the victims of the conflict. And then when there is reparation to the victim of the conflict, then there will be what? In the end, there will be, when the victims are repaired, when there are dues paid to the victims, then now the country will prepare for national healing. This cannot take place in a war-torn place. When we continue to fight each other, we are not going to hold Salva Kiir accountable. Salva Kiir can continue to ravage the country. He can continue to kill you. He can continue to bring weapons from foreign countries, because he will use the excuse of civil war to make sure there is no accountability, no justice, and no reparation for those victims. Now, Brother Dwalarjin, if you are telling me that let us address the root causes, you are telling Salva Kiir to continue to fight, because Salva Kiir will know that Dwalarjin is coming to get me. He's coming to get me with his issue of what? Let us address the root causes first. But Salva Kiir will use what? The court system now, the justice system is for Salva Kiir in the country. The military in all places are now for Salva Kiir. But what we want is let us implement this document so that we do what? We make sure that the justice system is reformed. We make sure all security apparatus are reformed, so that the agenda of you and I, taking Salva Kiir to court to make sure we address the root causes, we have the system to do that.
Brother Shankwa, sometime we've been talking about this, but I think we might need time to discuss things out and maybe make ourselves understand why we have differences. But all in all, the reality is, whoever is making ally now, whether in name of peace or in anything with Salva Kiir, is a wrong thing to be done, and it's not good for our people and our nation. Whether you do it to avoid something, it's not going to help us. So it's going actually to put more problem and pressure on our people, simply because the SPLA regime, it should be replaced actually. And after it is replaced, then we can actually replace it with a justice, you say, and justice will come later. Justice don't come now, or you don't pressure them you don't push them with justice right now. You cannot remove Salva Kiir with justice right now. No.
Okay. Now pause there, and I like that you will continue. If you are saying, if you can now say that justice will come later.
Yes, after Salva is gone, after the regime is gone,
listen to the question. Now, if you are saying justice will come later, that means you are telling me we can delay justice, right? But now, if we can be able to delay justice, how are we going to address the root causes? You tell us the framework in which we can use to address the root causes.
Well, the root cause, is a demand by the people.
Yes.
By just demanding. Hold on.
I'm part of the people.
You are part of the people. So together, you and I and Mayong and others, by demanding that the root cause should be addressed, Salva Kiir should go with his regime, and not making ally with him can really take him out from the system. Then when he's out, then now we can bring the justice that we want in the country. That is what that's what I'm thinking, and that's what should be done. But if you say let's ally with him, you're making it really very hard for the people, and you're going to displace so many people with him. So tomorrow you cannot say, yeah.
Thank you very much. But again, let me throw this question to you.
So it is you and I who can demand it.
Let me throw this question
Why
to
not
you.
ally with Salva Kiir?
I hope
Yes.
our viewers are listening.
Okay.
The Alarjin, you were part of Tiger. I don't know what made you jump on the plane and you left our country, and now you are in America. I was not on the battlefield with the Tigers or the cause of the Civil War. I was not on that day on the ground, but you were there. What made you left the country and now you are telling us this is what we should be doing? You should be on the ground because you are part of the cause. You were in the cause. You should be also the solution maker. You should be the solution provider. Now let me ask you this question. We fought Salva Kiir, okay? He enforced or he imposed this war on us in December 2013. We fought him all along the way, 2014, 15, 16, 17, 18. We fought Salva Kiir. But we never overthrown him. Now, what made you believe that today as we speak, we can overthrow Salva Kiir militarily? And before you even answer this question, you have alluded to one of the points where you say that we should negotiate first to make sure Salva Kiir is out of power, right? We did that in Addis Ababa. We did it in Addis Ababa. We demanded Salva Kiir should step down. Dr. Riek used to say Salva Kiir must step down, and then we went to what? We went to the table and we talked, and the language changed. Why? Because there are guarantors and the partners that want us to achieve peace in the country. So now we had people among us, you included. On the first day, you are part of this war. And then all of a sudden, you left the country. And then you advocated against the very movement that was fighting to make sure Salva Kiir is hosted from the power. You went and say, I'm the chairman of UPSS. Another person say, I'm the chairman of this. Peter Gadetiak say, I'm the chairman of this. Tangin say, I'm the chairman of this. Oh, the other one, Paganamum say, I'm the chairman of this. Now Cirillo say, I'm the chairman of this. Now, what do you expect Salva Kiir to do? What do you expect Salva Kiir to do when you see a disorganized individual that can never work to oust him out of power? Because everyone has got self-ego. Dwal Arjun have got self-ego. He said, I want to be the president. I cannot listen to Riek Machar. Pagana Mum said, I want to be president. I cannot listen to Riek Machar. And all the others did the same. Now you give Salva Kiir more strong powers to believe that I can continue to destabilize these oppositions so that they will never work together. That is why Salva Kiir is still in power. Thanks to you, Dwal Arjun. Thanks to Paganamum. Thanks to Lamakol. Thanks to all those who actually never want to put their hands on Riek Machar to support it. You are the cause of Salva Kiir prolonging this civil war. You guys are the cause of us not addressing the root causes. If you guys stay together with Riek Machar in Addis Ababa, as soon as the 11, remember the former detainees, as soon as they were released, if you all put your hand in the SPLM of Riek Machar at the time, because your sole priority should be to dispose Salva Kiir. And then we can come later and address all these things. Whether you don't like Riek Machar should come as second. Your first priority should come as making sure Salva Kiir is no longer in power. You guys are the cause of this. And South Sudanese should judge you by what you have chosen. You have chosen to make sure Salva Kiir continue to destabilize the country. What? Under the premises of Pagan running away from IU, the Alarji not supporting IU, this and this and this running away from IU. Our priority should have been to dispose of Salva Kiir, the Alarji. Now answer those questions. How can we dispose
you know, you have a lot there.
when you guys decide to run away from IU? You are blaming the victim rather than you siding with the victim, because you are also a victim.
Yeah. First of all, you know, what make us to, you know, the beginning of the war, since I was there from the beginning, and the formation of IO and all that, you know, what make it at the very beginning that we living this IO is just simply because, you know, the leadership was not addressing the root cause of the war, and you can find that from Pagak 1, Pagak 2, if you really wanted to know the detail of this. There are documents there that are published. Yes, most of the journalists. And specific. If you really wanted this, the why actually most of us are forming faction. Peter Gade, Tangenya, a lot of these, the IO founders, because we consider ourselves IO founders. So you need to visit Pagak 1, Pagak 2. Those two documents, whether the video, listen to the video, and what is happening there, you will find the real issue. So that is one. Second, you know, IO, the way we thought with this different faction is a way to remove the IO itself. And most you guys, you don't understand this. It's a change. We wanted IO to be replaced. It's like what we are is been done to Salva Kiir now. That's what is happening, and that's why you are seeing so many factions. Is IO and actually
be clear on the point that you have just said that we formed the faction to actually remove IO. What do you mean by that?
I mean to remove it and replace it with those allies. That was that was the goal. So, and that's what is happening right now. So a lot of people, they don't understand it.
You know, I like what you are saying, and you know, sometimes truth come out after years of being hidden or hidden. So you are telling me that the reason why you left the PLMIO or the movement was because you are now going to form a coalition to actually remove the SPLMIO and not Salva Kiir,
and replace it with those systems, with those allies.
My goodness. Okay, continue.
That is the idea there. Okay, but the problem now, you see, our people, they don't know how to make a change to system, to regime, and all that. So that's why it's taking us so long, and it's taking people, and it causing a lot of crisis and making confusion. It's because people don't understand it. So if people could understood it from Pagak 1, and then right now we will not have all this struggle. But for me, I think it's because our people, they are not understanding things. So part of us being in public is to make people understand of what can be done. So all those factions that you counted, they were formed for meaning. And the meaning was just to remove IO, replace it with a better one that can go and remove Salva Kiir. Because, you know, the IO, it failed actually to address the cause of why we should struggle. So why should we have it when it's actually it's just a couple of individuals trying to ally with Salva Kiir? That was the main thing.
when did you came up with the idea of UPSS?
UPSS is a long time ago.
Mention the year, please.
No, I think it was fundamentally in 2015. No, it was 2015. Yeah, 2015.
Okay.
I think.
Okay, if it was 2015, that mean from 2015, Brother Dolarjin, you guys form all these personal parties.
They are not. They are personal for you. Yes, but
they look personal because they never achieve anything. You form them against the SPLM-IO from 2015. So that means all these years we've been fighting all these personal agendas, and we are fighting Salva Kiir. Wow, how strong is SPLM-IO?
You're always strong.
Yeah. In fact, SPLM-IO is very strong because over the years we've been fighting against all these minority parties, the personal briefcase parties, and the SPLM-IG in government.
I don't think the IO has been fighting.
We're still standing our ground now. We're still standing our ground. And we are in Juba now to make sure South Sudan is changed for good.
Yeah, well, that is the way. And it's good. You know, that's the good thing that people have different ideas. So you believe that you are in Juba because you are succeeding. But, you know, all these factions, like for us, we believe that IO is already defeated. And that's why.
Defeated by who?
By those parties that you have seen. And that's why he's running to the main, the enemy, his own enemy, to make ally. So that's why, you know, we have different ideas, you know, is what you believe. So you believe in that, and then right now we believe in that you run to Salva Kiir because you are defeated on the ground.
Look at this. Look at this. And thank you for actually making it clear that all these briefcase parties were formed against SPLM-IO. We knew it. We knew that you guys have forgotten who your main enemy was. And now you came and said your main enemy is SPLM-IO, which was a victim together with you. It is so unfortunate that we are talking in this regard after 9 years of civil war, that now Dolarjin would come here and proudly claim that the reason we founded these briefcase parties and these personal agendas was against SPLM-IO. In fact, SPLM-IO is actually the lion of South Sudan, because if it wasn't the lion of South Sudan, we would have been, tear apart, because all these animals, they want to feed of us.
Yeah, you know, you have a necktie. You come here, you have a necktie, you put your coat. So please respect yourself, and because here, I think his show he doesn't abuse people on his show.
Okay, so how did I abuse you,
and abusing people will not make you actually. Will not make your point across, and you cannot win. You cannot win the war.
All right. I'm back, guys.
Hold on.
Yeah, shooting
in any form. Let our viewers say if I have abused you in any form.
No, you calling briefcase party.
But that is not abuse. That is debate.
Brother Dal, if that's an abuse, right? Then what you are telling us since day one, you have been abusing us. We don't think that was abuse, because you were saying that what we do was not right, right? You're telling us that what the peace you are doing is not the peace. And I think you were right, because that's what you believe in. But you're not abusing anybody.
Okay.
You're not attacking. We are only Simon
you
was
yourself,
your idea, not you.
Yeah, yourself and Garnyatungo, all of you know that the piece, the paper that you have is not working. Okay, you know that, and the time that was supposed to be implemented has already passed. So that means I don't know what kind of timetable you are waiting. There is a timetable there. The piece was supposed to be implemented already bypassed. So
Okay.
that means that piece for
right.
other people is close, is already failed, because it cannot be implemented.
Dr. Dwal,
So what is the new timetable that you are telling us you want to preach here?
The new timetable.
That's why we are saying maybe.
The new timetable is this: the peace agreement that we have signed must be implemented. Whether it is going to be, implemented in 1 month, 2 months, 3 months, 1 year, 2 years, our agenda is making sure that for peace to be realized in our country, this document must be implemented. Of course, it will not be the first time in the world. You always pride yourself on the fact that you have read so many books. It will not be the first time you read a book that says peace is delayed. If you look at the history of the world and the wars and the peace agreements, there is always delay tactics by the incumbent government. It always part of the peace process. But whether it is going to be fully implemented, it will depend on time. If the time dictates that it cannot be implemented, well, people always find their way back to the scoreboard. People will always find their way back to where it began and how it can also be achieved.
But you are given 90 days. You were given 100 days. You were given, I don't know, 2 years. Now, all this one, they expired.
Okay.
And you still waiting for
if they expired.
I don't know.
I heard recently, Brother Dwalarjin, that some of the oppositions, and maybe perhaps one of your members, if you have some, are now in Juba, or they have gone for visit to Juba, to South Sudan, and the entire country. The reason as to why you see a lot of our people now going back home is because they know that they can actually land in Juba, where there is peace. They can go to Akobo, they can go to all the other part of South Sudan. Without this peace that SPLMIO is actually advocating for, no one would board a plane to go to South Sudan, just like we have experienced in the last 8-10 years. No one would dare to jump on the plane to go to South Sudan. So the credit is to the SPLMIO for actually bringing peace, even if it is not 100% peace yet. We have to say we are trying to bring the peace to the people of South Sudan, so that if the Halarjin want to go and practice politics in South Sudan, he can go and make sure that he is not arrested, is not taken to Blue House, which he doesn't want to be part of, because when he left in 2014-15, it was because he didn't want to go to Blue House. So today, the Halarjin, you can go back home, and the SPLMIO will protect you. They might not protect you through guns and bullets. No, listen. But they can protect you through the agendas that they have brought in the party, that they have brought in the parliament. You heard recently, and you actually said it last week, that the SPLMIO block any agenda that is actually impediment to the peace agreement. Now there are multi-partism in South Sudan. Whose credit is this? If the SPLMIO didn't fight, do you think Salva Kiir would accept multi-partism? No. If the SPLMIO didn't go to Juba to actually pressure the peace agreement, do you think now there will be multi-partism? No. So why don't you actually give a tick of approval to the SPLMIO, so that you can continue to enjoy the fruit of peace, where you can go to South Sudan and advocate on behalf of your party? Lastly, Mr. Host, Dwalarjin, according to the agenda now that the SPLMIO is fighting against in the parliament now in Juba, Salva Kiir and his party, they are proposing that any party that want to be registered in South Sudan under the current multi-partyism rule or law, you have to generate 500 members in all the states. Now, according to what I know, if this is the rule, the SPLMIO will be the only party in South Sudan that will generate 500 from all the other states. The UPSS will fail drastically. All the other parties will fail because they will not generate 500. Why? Because Dual before you say that the tribal system, the tribal, government of Salva Kiir need to be changed and replaced. Now, when Dual come into power, when you want to go and advocate for your party, people will say, no. Dual is a tribal, minded party. He's a leader of a tribe. He's a leader of maybe Tugduel Lunbai, Tugduel Chenyamu. It's what Dual advocate for. Therefore, you will not find 500 people in Rumbek. You will not find 500 people in Western Baragazal because they will not want to join your party. Okay? Lastly, I said long time ago, I told you, Dual, if you want to be a politician, I'm not saying you are not a politician. I will never say that. But if you want to be a credible politician that will attract people from all walk of life, you need to actually look at your political language. The way you advocate on behalf of your party can give you a tone that will destroy your party or actually nurture your party. You always come here and say, oh, the guy that is my deputy is from Dinka. But here you are telling us that we must get rid of that tribe in the power. Who is that tribe in the power? Okay? Now, the other thing is what we know. The government by Salva Kiir, the SPLM by Salva Kiir is a wrong government. It is a wrong system in place to kill you and I. It is not, you might have different belief, we might have different belief in how this war started because of the implication of the JCE. But the reality now is that Salva Kiir is not leading a Dinka government. Where is Tutkal? And who's Tutkal? Where is Garwil Mai? And who's Garwil Mai? Which tribe is he come from? And name them. The sons of Muntwit. Who are they? They are Nuer. Now, would it be fair on you to say, let us change that tribal government? Which tribe will you call it now? You answer this question. Can you tell us today which tribe owned that government of Salva Kiir? Because Tutkal is now the one that is actually buying all of you, the opposition. Is he a Dinka? No. When Mointwil is the one that is ravaging Unity State. Is he a Dinka? No. So let us be practical. Let us be, the language that we use during the war, when there is peace now, it should change.
Very much.
That is why we have to be political.
Speaking to that, Simon, our time is up. We have encroached into Dr. Thatch show now because it's timed for Dr. Thatch and the leadership topic. We have exhausted, but I wanted to start a complete, I created a new one, but on the same computer, not a different computer, because I want the viewers not to wait for another 2 hours then to get to the next segment. So what I'm going to do now is for all of you, because this topic also would definitely concern all of you, but it's a topic that will definitely be presented by Dr. Thatch, because he's the lead pundit on this. He's the one that will get all the question and will have all the answers. So what I'm going to do now is let's go to break, but I will send you another link. And to our viewers, we have more than 90 viewers now already. they will still remain with us, but we will go off air for a second, but we'll come back for.
But give our brother the last statement. I'm okay like that. But
Yes.
give our brother the last statement.
So I will do that. So Dr. Taj is already here. So I want to make sure that Brother Dal, you actually coming back with us. Don't go anywhere, but give us the 30 seconds of rebuttal.
Yeah, I don't want to make my bottle, because my point of view is clear to everyone here about what is going on in Southern Sudan. And
no, in South Sudan, there's no Southern Sudan.
Yeah, well, we can still call it Southern Sudan because it looks.
Come on, Mr. CNC. You are CNC and you are calling a wrong country. You're talking about
the problem of South Sudan. Actually, we define it as tribalism. What is going on there is a tribal war. So that means there are people who are fighting there are tribe fighting. So if you see those of Tutkal and those of other, and then you think, then this is a government of all, then I think the policies of what we call Denka dominant policy, and then is working in you now. And that's what they are doing. So what we are saying now is that whatever government is there, you are asking me what tribe is this, that is considered. Any scholar, they agree this is a Denka regime, what is in Juba right now.
Okay.
If they have a blood, if you go and search and you go genealogical ancestors of those who are allied to them, of which some people say that you can arguable like that, and say, okay, so and so, maybe you have your own blood with the Denka, you can join them and maybe torture people. But the regime there is not for everybody, my brother.
Okay, before you finish,
that's why we are saying there is a tribalism, and this tribalism has to be handled.
Let us be practical. Please address this question because our viewers need to benefit. Because you just say that maybe those who are supporting the Dinka government of Salva Kiir, they are Nuer, ancestrally they have blood with Dinkas. Does Garud Mai have blood with Dinka? Does hold on. Does John Kung have blood with Dinka? Does Regaiko have blood with Dinka? There are so many. Let me just stop here.
I think if you read, I would refer you to a very, very, very good article you can read, written by Professor Dichan, that describe all those elements of people that you have just mentioned. And I want you to read it, please, so you can know exactly, because Dichan can go up to maybe 5 to 10 generations. Okay, and he's going to tell you that where you actually coming from. So that's why the politics today, the tribalism politics, they go after the blood. They organize the government according to your tribe, and they bring you because you are related to them in the blood. And this is what a lot of people don't understand. This, that is what we wanted to actually get rid of, at least to come up with a new system that accommodate everybody. So I hope now it's clear to you. And if you wanted more understanding, here, you can bring a show, create a show. I will bring in some of the things that I have compiled here about the tribalism, about how tribes are fighting. And people don't know it. Sometimes they may fight in a different dynamic, and people don't understand it.
What I'm trying to say.
All right, Dal, can you finish your point, because we are really running late?
Yeah. So my conclusion is this. My point is this: is that please, guys, we are intellectual. Intellectual mean that you can understand a broad. You can have a broad understanding of an issue. And therefore, I would like us actually to try to understand the root cause of the problem in South Sudan as a tribalism. And the war in our country is a tribal war. So when we understand that, then we will be able to really bring a practical solution. Because the solution that you were brought from Addis Ababa is based on a political solution, because they think the war is a political war, which is Sonkos is talking about. So that's all is a confusion, my brother.
Thank you very much.
I'm so sorry, but Dolarjin.
Yeah, the other announcement that I wanted to announce here is that the book on tribalism is going to be published soon. I already finished it. Now it's on edition, and it will be published. So I will sign for you a copy.
Thank you very much.
Yeah,
thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank you. Thank you.
Let me just throw this question, and I don't want anyone to talk about it. Look, the reason as to why we are talking like this is not because we don't value you, Brother Dolarjin, but it is because we want to feed ourselves with the right information. You know, we all believe that South Sudan belongs to all of us. I don't think anyone would advocate that Nuer can be removed from South Sudan. It will never happen. And Dinka, regardless of how much we can advocate against Dinka, I don't believe also we can remove the entire Dinka as a community from South Sudan. We all equally are sons and daughters of that great country. If we believe that they are doing the wrong thing, we should just advocate against what they are doing. So lastly, my brother Dolarjin, I know you always say that this is a tribal war. Even me, I used to advocate on this notion, right? But sometimes in politics, you need to identify what is the problem really, and then narrow your problems down, because at the end of the day, you needed this person. Like now, your brother, what's his name? Someone said, hold on, just bear with me, Mr. Host. Someone said your deputy lives here in Australia. His name is Matod Benjamin. Is that true?
I think that's true.
Well, just say yes or no. Just say yes or no.
Look here, the Shankwas.
No. There is something I want.
Even you can give credit to me that my approach to ending tribalism in South Sudan is by I'm not going to throw the Dinka that to tell them that they are going. No, that's not what we are saying. The system in Juba right now is a Dinka dominant. Is a tribal dominant.
That's exactly what we are addressing in the agreement.
And we want to replace it. Replacing does not mean that you taking the Dinka away from Southern Sudan. No.
Brother Dwal.
But you said it's a tribal. The war
is no longer Dinka now.
My vice president
is
a Dinka, right? He's a Dinka.
Listen.
But we just say that the war in South Sudan is a tribal war. So when it's
that's
tribal
right. That's
war,
right.
what does that mean?
And that's,
all right,
that's
guys.
the root cause.
Let's go to the next. Let's go to the next segment.
I think he doesn't understand it. Maybe we can bring a show for 2 hours and then we'll
listen to me. We are going to the next one. You will be there too. But I have sent the link now. Brother Dwal, get the link, okay? So you join us there as well. But this is not going to be the SPLM now. We're going to be talking about South Sudan, okay? This is done here. We are going to talk about the leadership, what we actually start last time, and that will be part 2. So I have sent the link and you will get the link. Simon, I also send you the links personally, and also I send it here online so that you will come in. Okay? Let me send the link again. And I want to say it to our viewers, we are moving to the next segment, and bear with us. It will give us only a couple of seconds to get it right. All right? I want to say it. Thanks for now for these 2 short 30-second, but we will come to the next one because we are coming live with Dr. Taj right now. Thank you very much.